Back in 2019, Indian government made a very ambitious promise. The promise was that they will make India a $5 trillion economy by 2025. The finance minister mentioned it in speeches, the prime minister repeated it at rallies, and soon it became a headline everywhere. $5 trillion dream, India rising, the next superpower. You would have seen it all over the news. And honestly, the idea sounded great. It gave people hope that India was on the fast track to becoming an economic powerhouse. But here's the problem. 2025 is about to end, and spoiler alerts, we are nowhere near the goal. According to the latest IMF projections, even by 2028, our economy will only be around $4.2 to $4.5 trillion. So what went wrong? Was the goal unrealistic, or is there something deeper that how this number are getting calculated? Back in 2019, Indian government made a very ambitious promise. The promise was that they will make India a $5 trillion economy by 2025. It wasn't just a statement, it became a slogan. Finance minister repeated it in every budget speech. Ministers started calling it Modi ji's vision, and TV anchors proudly flashed it on their screens. India, the next global superpower. And honestly, it sounded inspiring. It gave a feeling that India had finally arrived, that we were about to join the league of countries like Japan, Germany, or the US. People thought, if we are touching $5 trillion, it must mean we are becoming rich. But here's where the reality begins to differ from the headline. We are now standing at the end of 2025. And guess what? We are still not even close. According to the IMF, India's current GDP is around $3.9 trillion, and even by 2028, we might actually touch only 4.3 to 4.5 trillion. That means, even with one of the world's fastest growing economies, we are still 3 to 4 years behind our own target. Now, before we start blaming anyone, let's be fair. Part of this delay isn't the government's fault. The global pandemic, supply chain disruptions, inflation, and even wars affected every economy. But even if we ignore those global issues, there's a bigger question. Was this 5 trillion goal ever realistic? Because here's a pattern we often see. A big round number becomes a political slogan. It's easy to remember, easy to print on banners, and sounds impressive on stage. But behind that catchy number, there's a complex story about how GDP is calculated, how currency value changes, and how the growth we talk about on paper often doesn't reach the people in real life. So before we celebrate or criticize the target, let's understand what this $5 trillion number actually means. Because trust me, it's not as simple as it sounds. Part 2. What does 5 trillion even mean? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 5 trillion everyone is talking about? The term sounds huge, $5 trillion, but what it actually represents is something called GDP. Gross domestic product. In simple terms, it's the total value of everything India produces in a year. All the cars, phones, food, clothes, software, everything. Now here's a trick. GDP can be calculated in rupee or in dollars. And when politicians say $5 trillion, they're talking about GDP in US dollar terms, not rupee. So even if India's economy is growing faster in rupee, that $5 trillion heavily depends on how strong the rupee is against the dollar. For example, imagine India produces goods worth 400 trillion rupee. If $1 is 50 rupees, our GDP in dollars becomes 8 trillion. But if the rupee weakens to 80 rupees per dollar, suddenly the same rupees 400 trillion becomes just $5 trillion. So the economy didn't really shrink. But on paper, it looks smaller in dollars. That's why calling it a $5 trillion economy can be misleading, because a lot depends on currency exchange rates, not just on real production. Basically, the rupee goes down, your target goes farther away. It's like running on a treadmill. You move as much fast as you can, but you are at the same place. And here's another point. GDP tells us the size of the economy, not how that wealth is distributed. A few billionaires earning more can increase GDP even if ordinary people's incomes stay flat. So when you hear India's GDP is rising, you should first ask, for whom is it rising? Because GDP growth doesn't automatically mean that your life is improving. In fact, if inflation is high or unemployment is rising, people can actually feel poorer even while GDP keeps going up. Before we celebrate the 5 trillion slogan, we need to understand it's a macro number. It doesn't show whether ordinary citizens are really better off. Which brings us to the most important question. If the economy is supposedly growing this fast, then why are people still struggling with jobs, income, and basic cost of living? So repeating the question again as simple as I can. If the GDP is rising, why aren't our people feeling it? Let's look at the real situations on the ground. Because behind all those fancy numbers, there's a very different story playing out in the lives of ordinary Indians. India today has one of the highest youth unemployment rates in the world. According to CMIE data, nearly 1 out of every 5 young Indians who wants a job can't find one. Graduates are driving autos, engineers are preparing for government exams for years, and lakhs of people apply for just a few hundred government jobs. So technically, yes, GDP is growing up, but for many, it's going up and away. Let's talk about inequality. In the last decade, the wealth of Indian billionaires have multiplied several times. Meanwhile, the bottom 50% of the population owns less than 6% of total wealth. Think about it. The top 1% controls nearly 40% of all wealth in India. That means for every rupees 100 created, 40 goes for the richest and the remaining 60 is divided among everyone else. So when the GDP grows, the benefit is availed by the top 1%, which is in the corporate profits, not common people pockets. Now look at rural India. Agriculture still employs around 45% of the workforce but contributes less than 20% to the GDP. Farmer incomes have barely doubled in 10 years, and that too mostly on paper. When your input costs rise faster than your crop prices, that's not growth. That's survival. The government launched Make in India to boost manufacturing, but manufacturing's share in GDP has remained stuck around 15 to 16% for a decade. Compare that to China, where it's over 25%. And without large-scale manufacturing jobs, India's massive youth population can't be absorbed into a stable employment. Meanwhile, inflation has eaten into the middle-class savings. Everyday items, petrol, gas, cylinders, rent, food, everything costs more. Yet the average salary has barely kept up. So yes, technically GDP is growing, but if your salary hasn't grown, your job isn't secure, and your living costs have doubled, then what good is that number to you? It's like celebrating the size of the pizza while your slice keeps getting smaller. So the reality is, our economy might be growing on paper, but for an average Indian, growth still feels like a mirage. And that brings us to the next part. Why these big numbers often mislead people and how political narratives turn economic complexity into simple slogans. Now here's the biggest question about $5 trillion narrative. The numbers sound massive, but it doesn't actually tells you how much it is gonna benefit you. Politicians love big numbers. 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 1 lakh crore. They sound powerful in speeches and look impressive on posters. But when you divide that 5 trillion by India's huge population, you realize the real picture. Even if India touches 5 trillion, our per capita income, basically the average income per person, would be just around $3,500 to $4,000 a year. That's roughly around 30,000 a month. Now compare that to other countries. China's 13,000, Malaysia 12,000, and the US above 80,000. So yes, the $5 trillion number makes India looks a big economy, but it doesn't make Indians rich. So it's like saying my school is the biggest in the town or the city, but if half your classrooms have no teacher, that size doesn't mean much. So while leaders boast about the size of the economy, they rarely talk about the quality of that growth. And remember, even if GDP doubles, if inflation rises at the same rate, your actual purchasing power stays the same. You will still pay more for petrol, rent, food, and feel like you are running harder just to stay in the same place. But of course, these big numbers would be very politically convenient. They sound like progress, even though progress isn't evenly shared. That's why slogans like 5 trillion economy are perfect. They are measurable, memorable, and emotionally satisfying. You can't easily measure things like healthcare access or happiness, but GDP, that's just one number, simple to sell. The problem is that real development is not that simple. So let's step back for a second. If 5 trillion doesn't guarantee prosperity and GDP growth doesn't always reflect people's life, what should we really be measuring? See, GDP growth isn't bad. It's incomplete. It tells us how much a country produces, but not how that wealth is distributed or who benefits from it. In India, the richest 10% holds almost 77% of wealth. So even if GDP grows at 7%, that growth is mostly going to the top. It's like baking a bigger cake every year, but you have the same people that would be eating most of it. If we really want to measure progress, we need to look at numbers that actually represent people's life. Think like education quality, healthcare access, job creation, and environmental sustainability. That's why some economists prefer indicators like the Human Development Index, which considers income, life expectancy, and education together. Because at the end of the day, a country isn't just a country, but it's people. And if people are struggling with unemployment, inflation, and inequality, a few $1 trillion on paper doesn't really mean progress. So yes, aiming for a $5 trillion mark isn't bad, but let's not mistake economic size for social success. The real question we should be asking is, when will every Indian feel like they are a part of this? Because until that happens, $5 trillion is just a number. So next time when you hear a leader talk about that we will make India a $5 trillion economy, just take a step back and ask yourself, will this statement benefit me or not? Because progress isn't about bigger numbers, it's about better lives. It's about an India where everyone has opportunities, not just a handful of billionaires. A 5 trillion dream sounds great on paper, but a nation that truly uplifts its people, that's a dream worth chasing. Thanks for watching this video. See you in next one.